What on, family? It's your boy SNTV, back at y'all with another Chiraq Street Legends. And this episode is going to be about none other than Lil Reese, a.k.a. the Chiraq Grim Reaper. Lil Reese comes from that Lamron set. They're from 63rd to 67th, Wallace to Yale. 64th and Normal is their main block. And Lamron is clicked up with Tay-Town or D-Town or TTE or Threat to Everybody to formulate 300. Now, they're allied with Low Life, O Block, 600, Front Street, Nateville, 39th, 4-6, and the Breeze from out west. Now, their main beef is with No Love City, but they also beef with Travis World or Sean Capper, Smoke Block, JoJo World, Troop Block, 757, and Josh Block. Lil Reese is actually originally from 6217 South Calumet in the Calumet buildings, which were a stronghold for the BDs before the feds came in and the buildings got tore down. There are a lot of notable BDs that are from those 6217 Calumet buildings, one being 051 Melly. Those buildings were like a breeding ground for BDs, which is why Lil Reese has been a BD all of his life. He has a picture when he was about 5 years old, already throwing up the trays. And this is one of the major reasons why Lil Reese is so respected throughout the BDs, because whereas Reese has always been a BD all of his life, a lot of the BDs wasn't BDs at first. They ended up flipping to BDs. So he's well respected because he's always been a BD and he's remained a BD. Lil Reese started rapping when he was about 10 years old, but he would eventually begin to take rap a lot more serious when he would link up with Chief Keef in 2012 and change the city of Chicago forever when they dropped the song, I Don't Like. By Lil Reese being a part of the song that will put the spotlight back on Chicago, it would instantly make him famous. And with the fame came beef.
Boy, you a bitch, boy. Hey, Reese, you little bitch. Yeah. Fuck is wrong with you, boy? Hey, I am Brick Squad. Yeah, Brick Squad, boy. Fuck is you talking about, boy? You little bitch. We ain't for nothing. We ain't die heirs, man. Ain't no second off. Fuck is wrong with y'all, boy? Hey, hurry up, he turning. Hey, turn it. Catch that light.
Rolling that Lexus, but the Lexus is about to jam, bro. That nigga gonna be 12, bro.
Reese ain't even driving, he a bitch.
These niggas claim 300, but we BDK.
Now, a lot of people say that before JoJo got killed, the beef between 300 and Brick Squad was beginning to spiral out of control. And so when JoJo died, everybody automatically assumed that Lil Reese and Chief Keef, GBE, and 300 had something to do with his death, when in all actuality, they had nothing to do with it. But he didn't rock with JoJo, and after JoJo died, he let that be known. So it's a lot of people that didn't like Lil Reese because of that fact. And I once heard a blogger say that was Lil Reese's downfall within his music career, the fact that JoJo had died, because everybody thought that Lil Reese had something to do with it, when in all actuality, the fact that everybody thought that Reese had something to do with it was the reason why he gained even more notoriety. And there was also a video that was released with Lil Reese getting into an altercation with a female, and Lil Reese kind of spazzed out and beat the female up.
They ain't start making guns when they made you up. Yeah. No, they. Wait. Boy, you got me fucked up. Like I said, bitch ass nigga. Bitch, fuck up. Bitch ass nigga.
bitch. Get up out of here. I also heard this same blogger say that also has something to do with Reese's musical decline. But again, I say that I do not believe that, because we're dealing with a generation that don't really care about that. We're dealing with a generation that if a female puts herself in that position, they gonna treat her just like she a nigga. So, you know, I'm not really buying that. And I don't believe that Lil Reese ever fell off or his music career ever took a decline. I just believe that Lil Reese is one of those type of guys that he's a real street dude, and being famous, I don't think that really excites him for real. I don't think he's the type of guy that likes to have cameras in his face and paparazzi chasing him. So I don't think that Reese ever wanted to be as big as, let's say, a Chief Keef or a Dirk. I think that Lil Reese always liked to kind of play the background, just get the money, but stay out of the limelight. But in 2014, he will be placed in the limelight like never before.
Now y'all know I call Lil Reese the Chiraq Grim Reaper. Well, pretty much because his mentions on Twitter reads something like an obituary. I mean, every time you look through his mentions, you see a bunch of dead niggas.
He ended up being one of the main characters in a show that was created by DJ Academics called The Warren Chiraq. And the name that DJ Academics gave him was the Grim Reaper. And he said that he gave Reese that name because every time Reese would mention somebody, they would end up dead. Now, what I think this is, I think this was just a man trying to get on, blogging, and also some strange coincidences. Now, I've never heard about Reese scorn. Nevertheless, everybody that I talk to about Lil Reese says that he has been in the streets all his life, so you never really can tell. But Lil Reese is one of the most well-respected BDs. As a matter of fact, he's one of those type of BDs that if cliques getting to some type of conflict, he can be called to come in and fix the problem without it getting too messy or to the point to where those cliques end up going to war. Now here lately, Lil Reese has been involved with a couple of situations. The first situation was involving a guy that goes by the name of Hits079, in where Reese was caught by him and a couple more guys and jumped. In the process of Reese getting jumped, they say that Reese defecated on himself. I heard that Reese has a disease called Crohn's disease, and that it causes you to do that on yourself sometimes. I don't know. I've actually heard that it was mud. Whatever the case was, I'm just glad that Reese ended up coming out with his life. And then there was another situation to where Reese was stopped at a light in Country Club Hills when somebody got out of their car, began to shoot at Reese with a Draco. Reese was actually hit in the neck, and Reese actually lived. And no one knows how that actually occurred, whether the bullet ricocheted, whether it was a piece of glass that hit Reese in the neck to cause his injury. But we do know that the doctor said that it was actually pieces of the bullet or fragments in Reese's neck. Somehow, he was still able to survive. Lil Reese wasn't able to talk about a month behind that, and then he was finally able to whisper, and then he dropped his hit single, Come Outside.
But I catch that boy outside.
And that was about 5 months ago, and we haven't really heard anything else from Reese other than his situation with gaining his voice back is improving. And I think that we can learn a few things about the story of Lil Reese. One being this: when you're in the street life and you have ops, complacency is the first step to destruction. I'm gonna say that again. Complacency is the first step to destruction. Why do I say that? I say that because when you are involved in a street life, you subscribed to a death style. So you have people that want to kill you, which means that you need to be on defense 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. because at any given time, one of your ops can catch up with you and do something to you. Also, we need to learn how to recognize signs. I feel as though when Lil Reese came in contact with hits and he left with his life, that was a sign, because we all know that when you come in contact with your ops in Chicago, that 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna end well. Something positive that we can learn from Lil Reese is this: always be your own man. I noticed that Lil Reese doesn't seem like the type of guy that just do shit because other people are doing it. He do stuff because he wanna do stuff. He don't seem like a follow the pack type of guy. And that's what we need more of in society today. We have too many followers and not enough leaders. But if you ask everybody around you if they're a leader or if they're a follower, everybody will tell you that they're a leader. But that's not the case. This has been a story of Lil Reese from 300. It's your boy, SNTV.